Hello, thank you for watching the Kempler Design vlog. We're going to be looking at some draperies today, and we're replacing draperies with draperies. But we're going to look at the difference between things that come off the rack, ready-made, and things that are done custom. So let's take a peek. So here we're looking at the full drapery, and you've probably seen drapes from this brand before. There's really nothing wrong with them per se, but just take a look at how they work. So like up at the top, there's just like little hooks on the back, and you end up with this flat look, and then bunched up here at the end. So I mean, you can create a little bit more of a look where it's balanced out a little bit, but it takes a lot of effort in regard to that. Something else that's relevant is that the stack back on these, it's relatively small, you'll see, but because of the way that you're doing it, and I'll get into that a little bit later, you're losing a pretty big chunk of this window. I'd say, just looking at it, close to a foot of the window, maybe between 9 to 12 inches. I'll measure it later to be sure, but just gives you an overall idea of how you lose some of the space. Same thing on this side, and that will be the same regardless, but you'll see what I'm talking about in a little bit to see the difference between custom drapes and ones that are ready-made like these. Sorry for the bouncing around, doing the best I can. So we finished the installation. You can see it over my shoulder. And we're going to talk a little bit now about the differences between custom draperies and ones that you buy that are ready-made. So the first thing that I want to show you here is how you have the nice pleats. Now this is showing it in the obviously stacked position, and if you look at it, instead of just having random folds everywhere, we used a 2-finger, I call this a Parisian pleat, where it's pinched at the top. I used the original rings, as a matter of fact, because I was able to save them a little money by doing that. Okay, so that is the way that it looks overall. So instead of having that flat look, you've got a little luxury, I was going to say luxuriousness, and I said luxury. That's bad. But anyway, so that's what that looks like. And then over here, you see what it looks like pleated. Instead of just random, you're seeing that it has a really nice pleating all the way up, which gives it structure. Now, something else that's really important. Earlier, when we had this window, I'm stacking it, you'll notice that because we did custom, we were able to get this so it stacks off the window. Now, there's something really important that I want to show you here, and that is here on the side, and I hope I can demonstrate it. On the side, you'll notice right here the bracket, and the bracket, I'm going to do this. Okay. Do you see inside there? It's hard to see. Do you see the trim? The trim is about 1 inch. You can see it here. The trim is about 1 inch deep. So that means that this bracket up top had to be a different size from the one that mounts to the trim. Now that seems like kind of nothing, but it's a big deal because it means that when you look at the rod all the way across, it's even completely. And that's because it sticks out more on this side. Now, some drapery manufacturers, the rod manufacturers, allow you to order collapsible sizes in terms of the bracket, so you can make that adjustment, but a lot of them don't. And something else that's really important here has to do with the rod itself. Now when you look at this rod, it's one piece all the way across. Why is that relevant? Because when you buy a ready-made drapery, oftentimes what they'll do is do a telescoping rod. And what a telescoping rod does is it inserts one side into the other. Now that's great if you want to have flexibility, but if you're looking for truly custom, a one-piece rod is better. Why? Because when the rings are going over that split section, they don't snag. So it means that your hooks last longer on the draperies, and you don't get that click, 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 click sound when you're running rings over the top of it. So that was just a few things, but I wanted you to really see the difference between custom draperies and those that are ready-made. Thanks for watching the Kempler Design vlog.